normally first pre-season game, you're really looking forward to it. This year, I think most people didn't know what to expect. I knew there'd be a moment where we'd all get emotional. I sort of thought I got through it, and then the end, I wasn't quite expecting that with all the players to go over him. And maybe it should have been. I mean, it's a bit like when you win something, and on these days of pure euphoria, sometimes it's certain moments that you aren't expecting that make you feel fantastic. That was something that, was incredible, but in a very different way. And all the players going over and standing in line and taking that moment with the supporters to remember Diogo was something incredibly beautiful, incredibly moving, but at the same time, incredibly kind of emotional as well. And yeah, I thought we'd sort of got through it, if that's the right word. And then there's that, seeing all the players who hadn't played as well kind of made it even more so. Seeing some of the players singing along to the song, there was people in the crowd in bits, and I just thought that's actually the first time that we've all remembered him together, because as supporters we've come up together and done things, and the players have obviously done things, but maybe that was always going to happen because that was the first time that everyone got to be together, remembering Diogo, and it was quite a moment.
It was, and I think, I'm still looking at some pictures now as we're speaking on LFC TV of the players going over to the away end, and I'll be honest, I haven't cried yet, and I don't know if I will or not, but I'm just watching it again now as we speak, and it's hard not to feel emotional about it. And what has happened over the past couple of weeks, there's still periods where I haven't processed it. I mean, I know I did an audio tribute on one of the shows last week, and I tried to describe how I found out on the day and whatnot, but I think today is there's periods where it is heartening in such horrific circumstances and sad circumstances. It's heartening to hear Diogo Jota's name being sung, or sung with such emotion and such gusto throughout the game, and 10-minute periods from the 20th minute onwards where it kept going and going, and then the song gets in here and again later on in the game, and it's still at times is hard to process, but I feel like today is the first step of, when I say healing, I hope you understand what I mean by healing. I think the fact that everyone has come together in a way at Deepdale, the fact that, as you said, John, the players and the fans have had a bit of interaction, I feel like it's the first of a very small step on the way to something that we hope that as a football club, as a community, as a fan base, we're going to have very bad days. We're going to have some very sad days where we are going to think of him. There's going to be milestones such as maybe as what would have been his birthday later in the year, what would have been when we play Wolves later on in the season, but even to come the first game at Anfield when we play Bilbao in a few weeks, the first game of the season against Bournemouth. So there's all these milestones to come, and I feel like today was an exercise in everyone healing to a degree, but even seeing the emotion on John Bradley and Gary Gillespie at the end, the camera cut to them in the Gantry, and before it cut to them, you could hear them talking over the pictures of the players in front of the away end, and you could hear the emotion in John Bradley. Now, I was fortunate to work alongside them for a good, 3 years in the role I was in at the club, but before that I knew them in different ways, in different roles, but I worked with them on a weekly basis. Now, John Bradley, whoever knows him, he's a great character. He's lively, he's vibrant, he's always got something to say, and he's his own man. And even Gary Gillespie, there's too many don't really show that side of emotion, really. But today, you saw them very, very emotional. Everyone feels vulnerable at the moment, and there was a lot of vulnerability even in, I looked at the pre-match broadcast with Peter McDowell, Jason McAteer and Jay Spearing. There's a lot of emotion pouring out from all different places, and if I hone in especially on Bradley and Gillespie, they are a team that have been through a lot over the years, and today at the end there they looked very visibly upset, and seeing them like that has struck home with me, and I'm sitting here now and I'm getting emotional talking about this. So today is just the start. we can talk about the goals, we can talk about performances, we can talk about whatever. But today, I think the overriding thing is we've just got to talk about how we're all feeling, really, and that to me is the main takeaway of today.